Pause. Take a break. Reflect on life. Remember, you are strong. You are enough. You are capable. You are blessed. And you are loved. Your moment of greatness starts now.
In this episode, we will learn how to unlock our true potential. Helping us with this is an international keynote speaker, workshop leader, and a co-founder with the mission to significantly improve the quality of life on this planet. Welcome to the show, Shelly. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful, Toby. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me on this episode for Soulful Conversation. I'm looking forward to learning so much from you. And I know by the time we are done with this conversation, we will have already let go of all our limiting beliefs, our fears, and will become a better being by the end of this episode. It's been so
Totally.
awesome.
In a half hour,
Yeah.
45 minutes. Yes.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's see how far we can come. Yeah, but I would just like to start out with, out of curiosity, while preparing for this conversation, I was like, you've experienced a lot, you've done a lot, and I would just like to know what inspired you to go on this path of life, helping people to become better, to reach their full potential, to the extent of co-founding Lefkoe Institute, and also coming up with the Lefkoe Method also. So can you take us on this journey?
Sure. So, when I was in my 20s a few years ago, um, many years ago, I did a personal growth workshop, and it had a very profound impact on me. So I started volunteering, and I realized that making a difference in people's lives was very juicy to me. And 35 years ago, my late husband, created a process. He was on a plane and he wanted to know why people know what to do and don't do it, or they know what not to do and do it. And even in his own life, I give an example. If we all know that exercise and eating healthily will lead to a better, healthier, longer life, and we don't do it. We go into relationships going in that we know are not good for us. We want to stop yelling at our kids, but we keep yelling at them. So
Yeah.
there are things that we know to do that we don't. We know that we should post videos on YouTube to get our businesses started, and we don't. So he was very curious, and he was a management consultant and used to do brilliant work, and people would pay him a lot of money and thank him, and 6 months later nothing had changed. And he wanted to know why that was. So he went on a spiritual intellectual journey to discover it, and he kind of was writing on a plane and downloaded this process. And 35 years ago, nobody was talking about beliefs. Nobody knew what beliefs were. They say, you mean religious beliefs? Today, everybody's talking about beliefs because people know that it's very hard to make change if you don't change your beliefs. So he
Yeah.
came back and he said, wait till you see. And he was very, very humble. And he said, wait till you see what I downloaded, what came through me. And I watched him do the process with somebody who had beliefs about men. So she wanted to be in a relationship, but she kept meeting the wrong men or not doing anything to make it happen. And she had beliefs that men are selfish and men are um, uh, have all the power and men blah blah blah. And I watched him eliminate a belief with her. He did this process that we do, and Toby, it was like I got knocked off my chair. Spirit smacked me on the head. And I just went, oh my God, this is why I'm on the planet. I am here to do this work. And we train people, all over the world to become facilitators. And yet I just went, and it was mine. I mean, it was mine. And so I've
Yeah.
been doing it for 35 years.
Wow. That's so awesome. I mean, that you experienced a new level, a different level of helping people, and that's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so curious to know about the Lefkoe method. Like, can you walk me through it? Like, what is the Lefkoe method?
Okay. So, first, I want to back up a little bit and I want to talk a little bit about beliefs. A belief is a statement about reality that we hold as the truth.
Mm,
A pattern is something you want to change. Nobody cares about getting rid of beliefs. You care about getting rid of patterns. And
patterns.
patterns are observable. So I can see you procrastinate. I can see you have a fear, of public speaking. I could watch you being really nervous up there. I can see you not speak up for yourself. I can see you being anxious all the time. So patterns are observable. Okay. And beliefs are what cause the patterns. So underlying any pattern, any unwanted behavioral pattern or emotional pattern are these beliefs that are causing the pattern. And when you eliminate the beliefs, the pattern disappears completely. I am a results girl. So when I have a
Mm,
session, I want the beliefs to be eliminated and never come back.
mm,
So
yeah.
the Lefkoe method is a series of steps that takes you through a process where you will eliminate between 1 and 5 or 6 beliefs in each session.
Mm,
And that's what we do.
Are you enjoying this episode? Kindly subscribe, share, and leave a review. Thank you.
oh, like eliminating like each limiting belief per session. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I've just learned from you right now is, the connection between beliefs and patterns. I've never seen it that way before. Like that's wow, wow.
It's
Like, sometimes we have patterns in our lives, but I never thought it was attached to our beliefs.
Yeah, it's so funny that you said that. I was on a podcast yesterday and she said the exact same thing. And what I notice is when I read
Mm,
about people who talk about beliefs, sometimes they talk about patterns and you can't sit
mm,
down and eliminate a pattern. You'll go crazy because I feel anxious. That's not a belief, that's the truth, that's an event, right? But I feel anxious all the time is a pattern. That's what you want to change.
mm,
So events are what happens when you're little. Mommy or daddy criticize you, or mommy or daddy and daddy, or whatever your family structure, single parent, whatever you came into this world. You didn't know if you were good enough or not good enough. You didn't know if you were important or not important. You didn't know
mm,
if money was scarce and hard to get, or life was hard or easy. And depending
mm,
on the little world that you came into, you kids ask the question, why? Why can't I have dessert? Why can't I have a play date? Why do you have to go to work? Why do I have to go to school? Right? Why can't
yeah.
I live up to my parents' expectations? Well, I guess I'm not good enough. Why are
Mm,
mommy and daddy
mm,
never home? Why are mommy never around? Well, I guess I'm not important.
mm,
You know,
yeah.
why am I not
Yes.
getting affection? Well, I guess I'm not lovable.
Mm,
Why are they
mm-hmm,
struggling to pay the bills? Well, I guess money is scarce and hard to get. And the thing about
yeah.
my process that makes it different than anything else out there is we think we see our beliefs in the world. We think we saw them, right? So when I say to clients, and I told you I have clients in Nigeria, I have clients in South Africa, in New Zealand, uh, Uganda, I mean, every country in the world. And when I ask people, doesn't it seem like you saw whatever belief they're working on? They say, I did see it. Now you can't, so it's impossible to not believe something that you think you see. So if
Mm,
somebody said to you, Shelley hates yellow roses, you'd say, no, she doesn't. And
Mhm.
they'd say, yeah, she does. And you'd say, no, she doesn't. I saw her with yellow roses. She doesn't hate
Yeah.
them. She loves them. She smells them. She so nobody could talk you out of that. Or Shelly
Mm.
has blonde hair. You'd say, no, she's a redhead. So we
Mhm.
see things and you can't not believe something. And that's why kids believe in Santa Claus. There's Santa
Yeah.
Claus. Look, can't you
Mm.
see?
Mm.
He's got a red suit and a white beard.
Mhm.
But the day they get, I never saw Santa Claus. I made that up. I saw a guy in a suit with a white beard and somebody tell me it was Santa Claus, but I never saw there was really a Santa Claus. The belief goes away and never comes back.
Oh, yeah. So you help people to bust those bubbles, those balloons of misbeliefs or limiting beliefs also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. You've answered the question I had in mind earlier. I was, just curious to know, like, what are the causes of limiting beliefs? Because I believe, when we are younger, when we are like kids, everything was possible. Everything, there was no impossibility. And all of a sudden, you just grow up and everything becomes so, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. I have to be people pleasing because I have to, show that I am worth the love or the attention. And I'm like, how did we come from everything is possible, I am the prince or princess of the world, to let me just hide myself in my box?
Yeah. So it's what I said. It's exactly what you just said. You come in as limitless potential. One of the things we do, Toby, at the end of our process is we have people go into an altered state of consciousness where you
Mm,
existed before these beliefs did.
mm,
We're not our beliefs. We are the creator of our beliefs, but our
mm,
beliefs create our lives. So if we create the beliefs that create our lives,
yeah.
who does that make us? And you
Mm,
get that you are the creator of your life, that you are the consciousness that creates the distinctions that manifest. And
mm,
before you created limitations, you didn't have any. Before you create any distinctions, they don't exist. So, how that happens is, and that's why I created a parenting course. It's a digital course, and it's
mm,
called Empowering the Next Generation because it's to get parents to understand that your children are creating beliefs based on what you say and do. Okay.
mm,
So
mhm,
if you say to kids, why can't you be like your sister? Or how many times do I have to tell you? Or what's wrong with you? Guess what?
mm,
They're going to conclude there's something wrong with me.
yeah.
You know, they don't get an A and you go, what's with this B or C or D, and
Mm,
they
mm,
go, oh, I guess I'm not good enough. I just worked with somebody who had the belief, um, well, actually, it's a great story. I worked with him 10 years ago, and he had the belief corporate jobs are safe, being an entrepreneur is dangerous. And of course,
mm,
his father lost his business and he watched his family go through that. And his father said, get a good job, you know. And so he got rid of that belief. And 10 years later, he called me and he said, my business is worth $60 million and I'd like to buy out my or 40 million and I'd like to buy out my business partner and I'm feeling stuck. Can you work with me? And I said
mm,
yes. And that was very exciting. Um,
yeah.
so our beliefs, the limitations come when a child is looking at the world and saying, "Oh, I can't have that. I can't do that. I don't have what it takes because of the feedback." And again, parents are well intentioned. It's not that they're evil or bad or they want to hurt you in any way. It's just nobody ever taught them how to parent. So, when a parent is on the phone and a child talks to them, they go, "Not now, I'm busy," as opposed
Mm,
to,
mm,
"Hold on, please. What you have to say to me is very important, and I can't listen right now, but as soon as I'm off or tonight or whenever, you will have my undivided attention." Now that takes 11 seconds.
Hmm.
But that's different than not now. I'm on the phone. Or child doesn't sit still in the restaurant. Do you know any 5-year-old child that wants to sit still in a restaurant?
No.
No. Now, parents don't say to children, Toby, I know you're full of energy and it's so hard to sit still, but you have to because people are being disturbed and they came to have dinner out because they wanted to relax. Let's play a game at the table. And I have in my parenting course, I have all kinds of table games. But they say, get over here. What's wrong with you? Sit down.
Hmm.
What's wrong with me? I'm 5. But children don't think that. They think, oh, if my parents telling me there's something wrong with me, there must be.
Mhm.
So the 5 most common beliefs that people have in every country. I had a client in Syria recently. Same thing. I procrastinate. What do you believe? I'm not good enough. Where did that come from? My dad criticized me all the time.
Mhm.
So I'm not good enough. I'm not important. And if you think you don't have this belief and you're listening, ask yourself the question, if you're in a room full of very successful, wealthy people, do you feel as important as them? And if the answer was no, you do not believe you're important, because if you did, you would feel important no matter who you were in a room with. And if I asked you what makes you important, you would tell me, as you said earlier, Toby, something pleasing people, or um, my achievements, which is very common. That's workaholism.
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
what other people think of me, right? The belief that ran my life was what makes me good enough is having other people think well of me.
Mhm.
When I got rid of that, as you said again, the limitations of not being able to be my authentic self were gone.
Yeah.
And now I'm me, no matter who I'm with, where I am, I'm me, 100%. So I'm not good enough. I'm not important. What makes me good enough is having other people think well of me. And no matter how many business books you've read, most people still have the beliefs mistakes and failures are bad. And if I make a mistake or fail, I will be rejected.
Yeah.
And you will not be wildly successful with those beliefs.
Mm.
And when I say
Yeah.
successful, I don't
Mhm.
mean just your career. I mean, you got to water all the plants, your health, your relationships, your hobbies, having fun, watering the plants of your career. So, those are all plants. Your relationship with your kids, your partner, your friends, friendship, that plant better be singing because there's nothing like
Mm.
friends in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very true. I mean, Shelly, you've spoken so deeply to my soul right now, and yeah, I have further questions to ask. Like you're talking about, watering all the plants in your life, and that's my goal. Also, I want to be able to water all the plants in my life. I want to have a very successful career, even much more successful than I am right now. But also, at the end of the day, have a healthy family, healthy relationships. But one of my limiting beliefs right now, maybe you could help me with that right now, is I have a limiting belief of you can't combine them successfully. So
Okay.
can you help me to
So,
help me to shed this misbelief?
so where did that belief come from?
I think it came from my family.
From
Having
your
parents that work so hard, and you watch how the family or the relationship or the bond of the family suffers for it, basically. Yeah.
Perfect. So, one interpretation, I don't usually do this because it takes long, but with this belief, we could do it fast. Okay.
Mm, mm,
So, we're going to play a game. Okay. So, first of all, it makes total sense to conclude that you're a little kid, you're watching your family, they work really, really hard. but their relationships, fun, all the other plants are not being watered, right? And one interpretation is you can't, it can't be done. Okay. What's another interpretation that you couldn't see as a child that you could see now? So we're just watching a video of your parents. And one way of explaining it is you can't have all the plants singing. What's another interpretation?
Oh, it means that you have to let one plant to die for the other one to blossom. I don't know.
No, so another interpretation is that was true for who?
Oh, for my parents. Oh,
Ah,
that was true for my
my it
parents.
wasn't my parents couldn't do that, but that doesn't
Mm.
mean I can't.
Mm.
Auntie Shelley plays pickleball every morning and either goes out at night or plays pickleball and has a successful business and travels and goes to Hawaii every 3 months to see her grandson and goes on vacation. Just an amazing and friends all over every place and good friends, really, really good friends.
Mm.
So one
Mm.
interpretation is your parents couldn't do it, but that doesn't mean I can't. Is that a valid interpretation?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. What
Yes.
did your parents do for a living?
So my dad is like a consultant, a chartered accountant. My mom owns like her own business, like
Right.
entrepreneur,
So
runs her own shop.
maybe they, I'm going to give you a good one. They didn't know, maybe given the jobs they had, it wasn't possible, but that doesn't mean it's not possible. Is that a valid
Mm.
interpretation?
Yeah, it's a valid. Yes,
Okay,
yes, it is.
good. So I'm going to give
Yeah.
you, can you give me one more? What else
Um.
would explain the fact that they weren't watering all the other plants?
Oh, I just I just the situation that was in place at that moment. Maybe the need to provide for the family at that point.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they needed to provide for the family and they had the belief that you have to work hard to be successful.
Mm.
That's a very common belief, Toby. It's not true. I make money in my sleep. Okay. I sell natural confidence, which I'm going to offer a piece of this for free to your listeners. But I have a program with 19 beliefs that's on video that you can interact with all the most common self esteem beliefs. And when I get up in the morning, I made money while I slept.
Mm.
So before the internet, maybe it was true, but it is not true now. Is that a valid interpretation?
Yeah, it is. It is
And
valid.
maybe they had beliefs that made them do it, and maybe never nobody ever told them about this
Mm.
because my commitment is to water all the plants. It's something I focus on and think about. Nobody ever said to your parents, you should take care of your health and you should have fun and do things because if you don't, you're going to be resentful and burnt out. Nobody ever had those conversations with your parents. And that's why they did it, not
Mm.
because you can't have all your plants singing. Is that a valid
Mm.
interpretation?
Yes, it's very valid.
Awesome.
Yes.
So, if there are other valid interpretations, is what you said, you can't be successful and have a great life, is that the truth or one interpretation?
It's just one interpretation.
Great. Now, doesn't
Yeah.
it seem like as a child, you saw you can't be successful and have a great life or have all your plants singing? Doesn't it seem like you saw that?
I mean, of course. I mean, I saw that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good. Did you ever really see you can't be successful and have your other plants watered? Now, before
Mm.
you answer, let me show you something. You see this?
Yes.
For
Yes.
those of you who are listening, I'm holding up a water bottle. Okay.
Mm.
Does it have a color?
Yes, it does.
Does it have a shape?
Yes, that's a ship.
Does it have a location?
Yes, that's a
Good.
location.
Would you agree that anything you could see has a color, shape, and location?
Yeah, I believe that.
Good. Did you ever see I can't, it is impossible to be successful and have a great life?
No, I never saw that.
Good. What did you see? God, you have the most gorgeous smile. What did you
Thank you.
see?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't know what I saw.
Oh,
I
yes,
just
you
saw,
do. Yes, you do. What did you see? If I'm watching the video, what would you see?
yeah, I just saw two people that I believe love themselves so much, struggling, father away from home, trying to make money to feed the family, and my mom also trying to.
You saw
Okay,
two people do what?
yes, working hard to provide.
Well, you can't see two provide. All I see is them working hard.
Okay,
And if
yes,
I'm watching the video, do I see them hanging out with friends a lot and playing and having fun and spending
no,
time with their kids? And
no,
no. So I see your mother not meditating. She's not getting a manicure. She's not, taking a bath every day. I see your dad working and not there, not playing baseball with you. I can see their behavior.
oh yeah, okay,
Where was I can't have success, career success, and a successful life? Where was that?
oh, it was not there
Where was
actually.
it? If it wasn't out there to be seen, where was it?
I think it was just like a belief that was built up
And where
in
did
the
belief
mind,
come
in the
from?
brain.
Good. So the
Yeah.
only place that belief ever existed was in your head, in
In
your
my head.
mind. You made that up,
Mm.
just like everybody else in that situation. Which is why I'm
yeah.
busy all day, right?
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, that's why I want parents to be different because in that situation, that's what a kid's going to come up with. But all
Mm,
you saw was the way they lived. Okay.
mm.
And I can't be successful and have a great life, a balanced, healthy, amazing life was in your mind. You made that up.
Yeah. That's true.
Awesome. Now, last step. I'm going to make a distinction. Okay. Consequences versus meaning.
Mm.
Got it?
Yes.
The consequences of your parents' behavior was
Mm.
enormous. You didn't get to play with them, they didn't have a fun life. I'm not negating the consequences, but I'm going to ask you a question. I don't want you to answer it, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so
That's
everybody
good.
listening, do this with me and your head will be blown, okay? Your mind. What does it mean that your parents didn't have successful careers and all the other plants watered, all the other areas of their lives singing? So you said it means that can't be done. Now you're saying there's a lot of other possible meanings. Okay. So everybody has the question. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
Now, if everybody answer this with me, if you're in a room and somebody you know comes in and doesn't say hello, what might you automatically think?
What do you think about this episode? Could you share your honest review with us? Details are in the show note for this episode. Thank you.
If you just say it to me, like, he's not happy or something.
He's
Or,
not happy.
uh,
Okay.
mm,
Most of you said, I did something wrong. He's mad at me. He doesn't like me. Right. Where did that meaning come from?
from my mind, from my head.
Good. Perfect. Meaning is in your head, in your
Mm.
mind. If meaning is inside your head, do events have inherent meaning? Do events have
Yeah.
meaning before you give
Mm.
them meaning?
No, they don't. No. No.
Events have no meaning.
Mm.
Now, that doesn't mean it doesn't matter. My husband died. That mattered to
Mm.
me, but it doesn't
Mhm.
mean I'll never be happy again, or I'm going to starve to death, or I'm going to be alone forever. Meaning is made up. We don't know anything for sure because something happens. So, what does it mean that your parents had successful careers but not successful lives? What meaning does that have?
Oh, that's a very deep question. What meaning does that have?
So, what did you just tell me about events?
Events don't mean anything until we label them until we.
Nope, 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 nope. Everybody says that. Events don't have meaning until. Events don't have meaning. Even after
Oh,
we give them meaning, the meaning's still in our heads, not in the events.
hmm.
So even after you give an event meaning, it doesn't have the event doesn't have the meaning. It has it
Mhm.
to you, but the event never has meaning.
Oh,
So
it
what
just occurred basically.
say it again?
I mean, the event just occurred. It
That's
happened.
right. It just
The,
occurred. Very good. That's why we call it the occurring course that we teach.
mm, mm.
we teach people we teach people how to get rid of meaning in the moment so you can get rid of any negative emotion. Okay?
Mm.
We call it the occurring course. But I'm going to teach you how to do it right now. So,
Yes.
what does it mean that your parents were successful in business but not in the other areas?
What does it mean? I'll I'll say it doesn't have any meaning.
That's right. It has no meaning. Richard
Yeah.
Branson says, I love to start businesses. I don't like to run them. So he starts businesses, hires people, and then he goes to Necker Island and plays for the weekend
Mm,
and charges people $10,000 to hang out with him and donates it to charity. He has a
mm,
lot of fun, right? He has a wife and kids. They're there with him. They hang out with him. He has friends. He has a good life, it
mm.
sounds like, right? So,
Yes.
and he has 100 businesses.
Mm,
So there are ways to do it, and your parents didn't know what they were. So the fact that your parents didn't do it has no inherent meaning. Now, last
mm,
step. Doesn't it seem like their behavior made you feel like you can't have a successful career and successful relationships and everything else?
subtly, yeah, it's made me feel that way.
It seems like their behavior made you feel that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Can events that have no meaning make you feel anything?
No.
Perfect. So, listen, everyone. If you're walking down a street and a man walks past you and it has no meaning, what are you going to feel?
You feel
You
nothing.
feel nothing. If you give it the meaning, he's dangerous, what are you going to feel?
You start having those emotions, fear or
Fear. If
anxiety.
you give
Yeah.
it the meaning, oh, I'm so glad there's a man there. He'll protect me. Now, what are you going to
Mm.
feel?
You feel safe.
So events don't make you feel anything. The meaning you give them does.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, what made you feel like you couldn't have a fully successful life? What produced that feeling? You can't have career success and other success.
Yeah. What made me feel that was basically, having, just thinking about it logically, like, okay, you have limited amount of time,
Eh,
and when you
eh,
invest,
eh, eh, eh.
I'm failing on this one.
Yeah. So, what produces all of our feelings?
Oh, our mind.
The meaning we give events.
Yeah.
So, what made you
All right.
feel like you couldn't be successful?
Yeah, it's all in my head.
The meaning you gave. The
Yeah, the
meaning you
meaning.
gave. Close your eyes.
Mm,
Imagine giving the same events different meaning. My
mm,
parents are not committed to the other areas of their lives. That's why they're not singing. they believe you have to work hard to be successful. And given that belief, they don't pay attention to the rest of their lives. I'm not going to do that when I grow up. I'm going to be like Auntie Shelley and Uncle Morty. And as you're giving the same events that meaning, do you still have that feeling, oh God, I can't be successful in every area?
No.
No. And if you didn't then, would you today?
I mean, today, no, I'm not.
Good.
I'll have the
Perfect.
feeling that I can't. Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Okay, take a deep breath. Say, I
Yeah.
can't have career success and a successful life.
I can have a
I can.
successful
No,
career.
say I
Oh,
can't. I can't.
why? Why? I don't want to say that.
But I want you to say it.
Okay. Yeah. I can't have a successful career and a successful life.
Is that true?
No, it's not true. That's
That's
not
how you
true.
get rid of a belief. Now, you may have other beliefs, like I don't have what it takes, or I'm not good enough, or people can't be trusted, or, a partnership is dangerous. There's all kinds of beliefs people have. That's why we
Mm,
look at a pattern and we look at all the beliefs. But
mm,
getting rid of that belief opens up a possibility for you to actually have it. It's like if
mm,
you believe you can have it, you can't, and nothing's going to change.
mm,
But if that box goes away and you go, you know, I could have a successful career and cut it off at 5 o'clock or whatever, or not work weekends or not work nights, and have an incredibly successful relationship. That my relationship plant got watered. If Morty would say to me at 10 o'clock at night, honey, would you edit my blog post? No, 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 no. We're not doing that at 10 o'clock at night. We're being together at 10 o'clock at night, right?
mm, mm,
So it's a stand, you know? This is time for my children. This is my kids' time. No, somebody once said to me, will you have I can only work on Saturday. I said, I don't work Saturday. He said, I'll pay you triple what you get. And I
mm.
said, I'm not viable. I said,
Ah,
I said, no.
yeah.
I said, I don't work weekends. I don't. That's my family time. That's my time, my friend's time. That's my renew time. And somebody
Mm,
told me when I first started, before the internet, before time zones, where all my clients lived, I had one client who drove 2 hours each way, and I'm still in touch with her. That was,
wow.
yeah, it's really, 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 really great.
Yeah.
And she said I ate mac and cheese to be able to pay for the sessions. But man, she
Mm,
has she has a family, she has 5 kids, she has her career, she has a gorgeous relationship with her husband. I think she rides horses or does something, has a hobby that she loves. So her life turned out really gorgeously. Okay.
mm.
And she was one of 11 kids. So
Wow.
um, but my point is, somebody said to me, if you're going to be quote unquote, which I'm not a therapist, you have to work nights and weekends because people work during the day, right? They can only
Mhm,
work nights and
mm,
weekends. And I went, well, maybe they won't be my clients.
mm.
And I had a full practice. In fact, in those days, I used to do six, I don't know how, I used to do 6 sessions a day.
Wow.
Now I don't do that, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Shelly. I appreciate that session that you took me through. I mean, if it doesn't benefit any other listener, I've been blessed from this already. Because you said something that was totally right. And that's, the meaning that we give to events is basically in our head. And growing up, moving to Germany, I've met a lot of people, like even my mentor and, other successful people that have all their plants singing. So most time always in my head always comparing, but why is my family like this, and why is their own family, they are wealthy, they are healthy, they are happy, they are vibrant? But I keep hitting a wall, basically, letting go of that belief. You see them and you're like, yes, I can do it. Then all of a sudden you'll be like, I don't think it's for everybody. It's for them probably, but maybe not for me.
Exactly, Toby. That's what people do. When you have a belief, you either can't
Mm,
see evidence to the contrary, or you do what you do and you go, oh, that's just them. That's a
yeah.
unique situation. It's not for me.
Hmm.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah. So now I have to believe that no, I mean, for it to happen to them, for them to be enjoying that, I can also enjoy it. It's something that is available for everyone.
There's no difference between us and Bill Gates. He just doesn't
Mm,
have beliefs about money. He doesn't have the belief there's only so much money you can have.
mm,
Like you could not know people and know what they believe, right? Steve
yeah.
Jobs didn't have beliefs that things couldn't be done.
Mm,
And he didn't
mm,
have the belief mistakes and failures were bad, which is
yeah.
such a, I mean, when you look at your iPhone, the first one had an antenna that used to break. So they
Mm,
made an iPhone 2. They didn't say, oh God, I'm so stupid and I can't believe I did that. And how did I put that
mm,
out? They just made iPhone 2. And
yeah.
my
Yeah.
iPhone 6 fell in the toilet and it cost me $600. My daughter's
Wow.
phone a year later fell in the toilet and she took it out and made a phone call. So they keep improving it, improving it.
Mm,
They
mm,
don't
mm,
say, oh God, I screwed up.
mm. Yeah. That's true. That's very valid. But Shelly, we've come to a point in our lives. I mean, a lot of people that listen to this podcast are maybe young adults, and maybe they've gone through some of these life changing, transforming experiences already, and they are who they are. They have the beliefs they have right now. So maybe a lot of people are going through like having this self doubts or low self esteem because of what they've gone through in life. How would you advise them to now, change, like build up their esteem again, their self confidence, let's go of self doubt after, trying to change their beliefs also?
Yeah. So, two things. I'm going to give you access to a free belief, right? So you can
Mm,
eliminate free belief. So you go to eliminatebeliefs.com, eliminatebeliefs.com, and you can eliminate
mm,
beliefs for free. Then they take you to a program that's,
mm,
you know, I don't know, $200, and you can go through 19 self esteem beliefs, including
mm,
mistakes and failures are bad. If I make a mistake, I'll be rejected. I'm not good enough. I'm not
mm,
worthy. I don't deserve. It's all the self esteem beliefs that you could possibly have. There's
mm,
tens of thousands of reviews, of testimonials. So that's the first thing I would advise. I also wrote a book for people who would rather read, called "Hitting the Wall: Eliminate the Beliefs that Sabotage Your Business and Your Life." And we walk you through the process. And if you're an entrepreneur, those are all the entrepreneurial beliefs. And
mm.
they're the beliefs most people have under everything.
Yeah.
So that's what, and I love working with young people, because when I work with people who are 40, 50, 60, 70, they're going to change their lives, but they've suffered a lot. And when I
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
people who are young, their whole life is different.
Mm,
Their whole life, because your beliefs determine your behavior. And all that, I'm going to make that the perfect metaphor is New Year's resolutions. This year, this is the year I'm going to do it.
mm,
And I have a cute cartoon that I show in my talks, and it's the gym parking lot. In January, you can't, it's all filled with cars. And in February,
yeah.
there's 3 cars in the parking lot. And that's
Yeah.
because your beliefs didn't go away, and you can't act inconsistent with your beliefs. If you
Mm,
believe water is boiling, you're not going to put your hand in it.
yeah. That's very true.
If you believe I don't have what it takes, you're not going to go for it in life.
Mm,
I had a woman who had the belief, what makes me good enough is being perfect, right? Everybody, used to comment when she was a kid on how perfect she was. And one of the biggest breakthroughs was after she worked with me, she put a video online and she looked at it and there was a hair out of place. And before, she would have redid the video. And this time she just went, no one cares. And if they do, so what?
Oh yeah. I can identify with that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that affects a lot of people because from my own example, I would say there's so many things in life that I could have done but did not do because I was scared of how people will receive it, and it has to be perfect. It has to be wonderful, and there's so many things that I had to redo. Like maybe make a video, for example, and I retake it until I get frustrated and I just give up and say, "Nah, I can't do this."
Yeah, I did it my whole life. I mean, I was very lucky because a lot of things came easily to me. But when
Mm,
something was hard, asked a friend to do it, or I staffed it out, or I didn't do it. And when I realized that I had a belief I'm not capable, and I never would have known that because I lived alone in New York City. I traveled the world. I mean, you would have thought I was the most capable person. But if
mm,
something came hard to me, if it wasn't something that just came easily, I just didn't do it. And so
mm,
when I realized I had the belief I'm not capable, because you don't have to be capable to do things that come easily, you just do them,
uh,
right?
yeah.
But
Mm,
when it's hard, like I said to my girlfriend once, how did you learn PowerPoint? And she goes, easy. I got on and I tried and tried and tried. I failed and failed and failed until I got it. I
mm,
would have never have done that because I also had the belief mistakes and failures were bad.
mm,
So when I got rid of those beliefs, I was able to step up when my husband died and take my business on. I didn't know
mm,
anything about running a business. It was the last thing in the world I wanted to do.
mm.
But because I had gotten rid of all those beliefs, I was able to do it.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks for sharing that. Can I ask you something personal?
Any
Like your husband passed away, and that's like that's like an event, and it occurred. I want to ask, like, what does that mean to you? What meaning did you attach to that?
So let me make a distinction.
Mm,
What it so I wouldn't say what it means to me. I would
mm.
say how is it for you? Okay?
Oh, okay, yeah,
How
yeah.
it is
Mm,
I miss him. I wish he were here. He was a beautiful human being.
mm,
Um, I wish he was here to see my girls, and the fact that they're both doing this work now, which we
mm,
never saw coming with one of them in particular.
mm.
So how it is for me, it sucks. Now I got to go date again and meet somebody, and you know, anybody knows a fabulous man, let me know. Um, but so
Mm,
that's how it is for me. And there's a
mm,
lot of decisions that I wish he were here to help me make. And
mm.
when something happens, my person is not there. So it sucks, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have meaning. We don't know anything for sure because he died. Now, I'm going to
Mm,
tell you a secret, and this is my gift to all of you.
yes.
Grieving is healthy. Not wanting to get out of bed is not healthy. So when I woke up in the morning and I didn't want to get out of bed, I used the occurring tool that I just did with you.
Mm,
What happened? My husband died. What meaning am I giving it? I'm going to
mm,
starve to death. I don't know how to run a business.
mm,
What else could it mean? You'll step up and you'll learn. You'll get help. But
mm.
what does it really mean? What do I know for sure because he died? Nothing.
That's it.
Evidenced by the fact that I tripled my business.
Mm,
So it didn't mean that. Next morning, I don't want to get out of bed. What happened? Morty died. What meaning are you giving it? I'm going to be alone forever. Well, it could mean that. What else could it mean? Well, it could mean I'm going to have a fabulous second act.
Mm.
So the fact that he died does not mean I'm going to be alone forever. That meaning is in my mind. Anytime you have a negative emotion, stop and ask yourself, what happened? What meaning am I giving it? Come up with one other meaning,
Mm.
and then get that the event has no meaning. You don't know if you're a business owner, oh God, I had a bad quarter. And then you get anxious. That's because you gave it the meaning you're going to have a bad year, or you're going to lose money, or you're going to starve. But if you look at the numbers and go, oh, this is a good indication that we need to make change, you're not going to feel anxious.
Yeah.
Or it's a blip on the radar, you won't feel anxious. So
Mm.
anytime you feel anxious or sad or depressed or, uh, disappointed, and another way of doing it is to just look at what happened, ask what meaning you gave it, and get the meanings in your mind. It's not in the events. I can't have every area of my life singing and be successful. That's in your mind. That's not in the events.
Mhm.
All the events were is that your parents didn't. Everything else we
Yeah.
make up.
Yeah. Shelly, thank you so much. I'm so sorry for, taking you down that path of being too personal, but I really appreciate it. I learned so much from you. I learned so much from that.
Oh, good.
I'm going to place the links to your website in the show notes of this episode. So I encourage everyone who has listened so far to click on the link, take the quiz, get the book, read them, take part in the courses. They could change your life. They could change your life. I mean, I love my parents so much, and I I'm so happy that I made mention of that example, because it helped me to see things in a different way, and you've helped me to understand basically that all the meaning that we give to events or to situations or occasions in our lives is from our head, and once we're able to change our beliefs, we'll be able to change the patterns that that runs our lives, and also the choices that we make. And once we have good beliefs, unlimited beliefs, we'll be able to make healthier choices and have healthier patterns, healthier habits in our lives, and our lives could be better off. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. It was
Thank you.
wonderful being with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
EliminateBeliefs.com.
Wow, you made it to the very end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening. I'm grateful for your time, your love, and your contributions. Subscribe, like, review, and share this podcast. God bless you. Bye. Bye.